Hello students, let's read the problem. And it says, Jason writes the number 0.0000157. What is this number written in scientific notation? Okay, so what is it that I'm looking for? Well, I want to write that number that Jason wrote. I want to write it down in scientific notation. Is that right? So scientific notation means that it's gonna look something like my answer choices with multiplying by 10 to a certain power. Is that right? Okay, so what about if we write down the number that is given to us? So I'm gonna write it down here just so that I have more space. How many zeros does it have? 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Make sure that we don't forget any of those zeros because they're very, very important for us. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna need to think about what's the best way that I can change that to a scientific notation. So one of the things that I'm gonna remind you is that to write it as in scientific notation, this is the format that you follow. I need one number and only one number before the decimal. Then the rest of the numbers can go to the right. Then I'm gonna multiply this by 10 to a certain power. Okay, are we clear on that? So take a look at the format because it's very important that we understand that format. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna look at the numbers that is given to me and I'm gonna say, you know what, that number 1 is a decimal for me. Now why do I wanna make emphasis on that? Well, I like to think that if the number that is given to me, in this case is a decimal, that's gonna make my exponent, okay, that's very important for us, okay? My exponent will be negative number, okay? If my number that is given to me was a whole number, a very large whole number, then my exponent for the 10 will be a positive exponent, okay? I don't know if that kind of makes sense to you guys, but I always use that to remind me, okay? So decimal is a small number. Is that right? And small numbers are to the left on the number line. And those numbers are what? A little bit further to the left, we have negatives, right? So try to make the connection with that. Maybe that can help us. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to move this decimal until I have one digit to the left, okay? And I don't want zeros, so I'm going to keep on moving until I am right here in between the 1 and the 5. So the 1 goes to the left and the 5, 7 goes to the right. You guys see that? Now let's count. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I move it 5 times. Is that right? So that 5 will be my exponent, but it's going to be a what? It's going to be a negative exponent, okay? Because again, it was a decimal what I had before, okay? So I'm so sure that you will see more questions in a few minutes, so just keep an eye on those numbers. If the number is decimal, then more than likely I'm thinking about negative exponents, okay? So look at the answer choices, and it matches what answer choice? B, very good. That's my answer for this one.